Hello, this is Ryan from Amnesty, and I'm going to show you Elizabeth, or England, their playstyle, what I would recommend if you were playing her, and thinking of what to win, or do what victory condition. Now, she gets +2 movement for all naval units and receives an extra spy. And her 2 special units will be the Longbowman and the Ship of the Line. Now, if you were to play England and you're wondering what it is that you would excel in for victory, definitely go with Domination. Although Domination really only is recommended if you're on a big sea kind of map, like an archipelago, small islands, small continents kind of map, you would definitely dominate. But if you're on just all plains, you're really going to struggle with her because there's no benefit you're really going to get out of her. So, outside of Domination, I would recommend Scientific. With any other kind of mainly sea-based civilization, I usually recommend Scientific because you are going to expand quite a bit generally, but when you're near coastal cities, you want to pair it up with Commerce, Social Policy. With that being said, you're going to receive lots of money, and for the money buildings that you build, you're also going to receive science with it. So they go hand in hand. And since you'll have a bunch of cities that are going to be generating money and science is a definite good way to go if you don't want to do Domination. And the two that I would kind of not recommend, but it's still there, is Diplomatic. Diplomatic you can win. It'll be a little bit more of a challenge with that one. And then by far the worst is definitely Culture. There's nothing that benefits Elizabeth culturally. You're going to be around coastal cities, so you're not really going to want to be, you don't really want to go for Culture because you're going to have lots of cities and there's really no culture significance of her. But anyway, I'll show you the Longbowman and the Ship of the Line next. For the Longbowman, it's going to cost you 120 production or 240 faith to create. So, again, this has one additional range compared to the Crossbowman, and that's who it's obviously going to replace. So, it's very good. Its combat is 13 if it's getting attacked by melee. And then its range combat's going to be 18, which is big. It's very strong. Its range is going to be 2, and its movement will be 2. And then its abilities cannot attack melee. Well, it can't go up and attack a swordman with the bow because it just isn't how it works. And then the other ability is an extra range, so that way, again, it can shoot farther. And once again, if you upgrade this to a Gatling gun, it still will have that range. So that's very, very useful. And then more importantly, the Ship of the Line. Now it'll cost 170 production. It'll actually be a little bit less than what it replaces, which is the frigate. So it will actually, you'll be able to build these a little bit quicker than another civilization. Plus, again, these are stronger. It's got a 30 combat strength. Its range combat's going to be 35, and then its movement will be 5 tiles, which is huge. This thing zips through the water like no other. And with that being said, you'll be able, if you haven't found everybody yet, you'll be able to find everybody very quickly. If you're someone that's really smart and you're one of the first ones to have these, again, you may be able to find civilizations that haven't been found. Granted, you'll have to really do well for that to really happen. And also, same thing with city-states. You'll be able to find the city-states just about before anybody else. With that being said, you could go 2 options. One, I wouldn't really recommend it. You could be diplomatic and just be nice and trade with them. Secondly, which I would rather recommend, is be a little bit more aggressive with them. Force them to give you money. Force them to do whichever, do your bidding, or just attack them. Considering they will not have a ship that is strong as this, I highly recommend you to build a lot of these ships. So, that is the 2 special units that England has. And now I'll explain the social policy that I would recommend if you are playing England. Alright, before I show you the social policies, I'll just explain a little bit more as far as England goes. Now, when you start up, generally you're going to, if you're on a smaller map, you may not be paired up on an island. Let's say, for instance, you're on a European map, maybe a small islands map, or even like small continents, hemispheres. If there's any kind of island off the continent, generally, you'll be placed on there. That's kind of their start bias. And also, just like England is today, it'll be in a kind of grassy area such as this. Grassland, kind of plains near water, generally always going to be a coastal city. So With that being said, obviously you're going to want to choose the commerce social policy, which I'll show right here. And you'll need to be in the medieval era in order to start putting points in this, if you didn't know that already. What will commerce do for you for England? Essentially, it will give you another movement for your naval units and extra sight. So that is huge. Your ships will absolutely fly through the water. You will be able to dominate any other ship like no other. Elizabeth is definitely by far the best naval civilization, because nobody will be able to shoot to take down your ships, because they will move like no other. Again though, with commerce you're going to get extra money. Harbors will be a little bit cheaper. Maintenance on road is going to be a little bit easier as well. Plus you're going to get signs from any mint market, bank, or stock exchange. So anything that you're getting, the money makers you're putting out there, you're actually going to get signs for that as well. Plus your luxury resources will give you some extra happiness, so that way it'll be a little bit easier to place your cities on the coastal tiles, considering there's not quite as many happiness inducing resources out in the water. So that'll give you a little bit more of an incentive to do so. With that being said, that actually one other thing, I haven't really mentioned too much about the spies. Granted, I don't really benefit. Spies are nice, but I don't really consider them too important. But that extra spy will help you out in the long run, because by the time you're done with the end game, modern, or whatnot, that's by the time when you stop getting spies. But you're going to have an extra one. So if you are behind a little bit in science, you can actually steal a bunch from people that may be smarter than you if there's more than one. Also, if you're smarter than everybody, you can protect your technology that you have currently. With that being said, nobody will be able to take anything from you. You can keep what you have and not have to worry about other people taking what you have in terms of technology. Plus you'll be able to figure out who's going to attack you, who's weak, that sort of thing. So with that being said, that's going to cover the England, and I hope you enjoyed. Please rate, subscribe, and comment, and watch some of my other videos. Thank you guys.